In this video, we're going to be continuing with our mystery box. So I loaded up Nazi zombies and just out of curiosity figured out roughly how long it takes. So when you press F on the box, it takes about 4 seconds. Well, you have to wait about 4 seconds until you're able to grab the final weapon. During that time, it's just cycling through just whatever weapons are available in the box. And then after that 4 seconds, you have about 12 seconds to actually grab the weapon to trade it. So that's kind of what we're going to be basing this on is those timers. So I just want to get the opening and closing set up for that, so that way we can add some functionality to be able to switch through the weapons as they are ascending upward. What we're going to do here is we have our use. I want to wrap this in if has authority and player to confirm that that's all valid. From here, I want to start up a timer. So I'm going to go ahead and actually instead, let's create a function. I'm going to call it void able to grab weapon. And what I want to do here is I want to start that timer. So let's include timer manager dot h to get world get timer manager dot set timer. Let's create a timer handle, or so f timer handle. I'm gonna call it t grab weapon. Next parameters our class. Well, not our class, but I don't know what you'd call it. Then a mystery box able to grab weapon, and then our delay. So I'm going to do 4.0f for 4 seconds, then false because we do not want it to be looping. So I want to disable the inputs on the box during this time, well, while this is started. So I'm going to create a replicated boolean. So up here I'm going to do u property replicated. It's going to be bool b can do, what do you call it? Use box. So now it's off of, yeah, interactable base. So let me go to wall weapon. I want to just grab the get lifetime replicated props so I can copy and paste it in. Instead of typing it out, replace a wall weapon with a mystery box. And we need to include the Unreal Network. So net / Unreal Network.h. Then we have our B can use box to be replicated. So by default, this is going to be true. However, whenever we purchase it, this is going to be false. So during this time period, as well as pretty much until the box is completely done, so whether or not the player grabs the weapon or the weapon is no longer able to be grabbed, so 12 plus 4 seconds, 16 seconds, you will be able to use the box again. So what I want to do is, this is going to start up a timer, and after this timer has gone through, so I want to have another timer as well that's going to be kind of making their weapons rise and swap randomly. Once this function fires, I'm going to start another timer that's going to be the 12-second timer, where the weapon slowly drops back down into the box, and after that timer has fired, well, finished firing, it will actually stop, or it'll re-enable access to the mystery box. So pretty much it's all going to be dictated whether or not this is true or false. So if it's false, I honestly don't want it to be able to even be accessed. So if we look at not wall weapon, where's my interactable base? We have this get UI message. I want it to return nothing if we cannot use the box. So I'm going to copy this and paste it in mysterybox.h because we're going to override it like so. Create its implementation, and we're going to do if the can use box, we're going to return UI message, else return just an empty f string, like so. I'm just going to go ahead and start a compile. Then I'm going to do able to grab weapon. Once that's true, I'm probably just going to run this on, trying to think. I do want this to be replicated and kind of kick off events. So whenever use is pressed, we're going to have some sort of event that replicates. So probably a multicast to kick some to kind of kick it off. So I'm going to go ahead and create a multicast event. U function net multicast reliable and with validation. So now we're going to do void multi underscore box used bool, and I'm just going to copy the name, box used underscore validate and void box used implementation. So let's create the implementation for the validate and implementation functions. For the validate, we're just going to return true. Here, we need to kind of think about what we want to happen. So let's kind of look at this. So for starters, I want to go ahead and fire off box used. So multi box used. And this is where I want the weapon to kind of, well, we're going to randomly, I think, choose an index to start at on the weapon array on the server, pass that to the multi-box used function, and then use that random integer as the starting point for the weapon array. So as it's looping through them all, that will be what it, you know, that will be what kind of gives it its randomness, so to speak. So let's see. Let's make it take in an integer. So int 8. Well, it's got to be positive. So u int 8. What do we call it? Random index. That's what we're going to be using. So we need to create a random index, but we don't have any sort of array to, go off of. So let's create that. So it's going to be a u property, actually using the exact same settings as up here. Edit anywhere. It's going to be a t array of class a, what do we call it? That's going to be a t array of t subclass of, then the type's going to be class A weapon base. Call it weapon classes. Then we're going to have a U property that's blueprint read only. So U property blueprint only equals, I don't know why I'm typing this out, or if it even makes a difference since it's read only. Then we're just going to have a T array of class A weapon base. I'll call it box weapon array. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an array of classes, and on begin play we're going to spawn all of those and pretty much add them to the box weapon array. We're going to make sure to hide each one, and then we're pretty much going to be hiding and unhiding as we go through the array. So we're going to have a pretty much a reference to the current box weapon and the previous. Let's see, multi-box use, line 69. Oh, right. So we're going to get box weapon array dot length. So u int 8 array length equals box weapon array dot num. We're going to pass in array length, but we want to get a random one, so instead index f math rand range. The minimum is going to be 0, and the max is going to be box weapon array dot num. So 0 to however many elements are in this array, and pass in random index. Now if we can compile. So let's see. I know this is kind of a cluster. I'm trying to step through it and think of each kind of thing. I'm going to go ahead and close down the editor. All right, so we need to fill this, spawn them all, add them to that array, make sure they're all hidden. And when the user presses use on the server, start a timer that's run after 4 seconds. It will, okay, we do nothing yet. We set can't use box to false because that's where we're going to wait for a bit. Go multi-box used for effects. So let's just go ahead and actually guess spawn the whatchamacallits, the weapons. So I'm gonna do if has authority to spawn or derp get world on actor classes a weapon base. Then we need our class. I'm gonna include that more public Nazi zombie usables weapon base.h. We're going to be looping through this array here. So weapon classes. So I'm going to do a for. Let's see. What would it even be called? Guess just do a U object. U class. So for U class, call it class and weapon classes. Did not mean to build. The class is going to be class. Actually, that's actually, I think, it. I'm going to go ahead and compile. And then we need to, I don't know why I keep compiling. Then we need to add them to box weapon array. So box weapon array dot add is spawn this. So if a weapon base weapon equals yada yada yada, get spawn it. Then we will add weapon to the box weapon array. Okay. So then whenever we hit use, I want to get the length. So UE log temp warning text weapon count in box %d box weapon array dot num. Couldn't think of what it was called. And now let's just see what happens. I'm going to add all the weapons to the box's actual blueprint, not this one that's right here, just so by default it'll have, some in it. So I'm going to open up the box. Here we have weapon classes. First one's going to be 1911. I'm just going to add all of them. You can add whichever ones you want. And the STG, file, save, confirm that this has them as well, which it does, and see what happens. Open it. Weapon counted box is 3, so they have in fact spawned and been added to the box weapon array. And that's what we want. How long has it been going? 15 minutes. Good grief. Okay, I'm trying to think of what else to do in this video since we're literally just doing kind of the basic setup. I think that's honestly going to be it. So we have the majority, well, the kind of base laid. We just need to go through and nitpick and think about how we kind of actually want to lay this out. So I'm going to do that in the next video since this one's running a little bit long, and the next one's going to be probably about the same length, if not longer. So I'm going to stop this one here. And as always, if you like what I'm doing and you want to support me, there's a link to my Patreon in the description, as well as if you have any questions or anything like that. There's also a link to my Discord server. So I will see you in the next video.